श्री स्वरूप नारायण नंदारी श्री पार्षद की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिनाथ ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोवर्धन शबनाथ श्री ब्रजमंडल की जय। श्री श्याम सुंदर राधा कुंज गंग जुगल भक्ति तुलसी देव की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। Run to the door. You can see me. I need my white cable. She's okay. But yeah, tell her that I need my white cable. Okay. And tell her it's on the bookshelf. Bookshelf in the bedroom. It's yeah. Is my phone just about that? Did I already say everything? Anytime up there? Hari Hari Bol. This is charged. I think that's the one. वंदेहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पाद सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदान्तो नारायणनित्यनामिने श्रीकृष्ण लीलाकमले सुलक्षम् औदर्यमाधुर्यगुणश्च युक्तं वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महन्तं नारायणं तं शिरसं नमामि। त्रिदन्दिनं भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपादां जगदैकहृदि चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं सततं प्रपद्ये। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तो स्वामी नित्यनामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशकारिणे नमः विष्णुपादाय गौरप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिप्रज्ञानोतीशवो इति नामिने अतिभक्त्यचरित्राय स्वश्रितानञ्चपालिने जीवदुःखे सदर्पाय श्रीनामप्रेमदाय नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवर्षभारती देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्णसम्बन्धविद्यामोदयिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेम श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणा शक्तिविग्रहाय नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनतारिणे रूपानुगतिरुधाप सिद्धान्तभक्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदाम्बुजयते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगतरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णव सर्वभौम श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुरतो पङ्गुर्मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपरमोजो राधामदनमोहन दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमाल श्रीमद्रत्नाकारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीश्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानं स्मरामि। श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवतस्ततः कर्षन्तेनुस्वनर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीनिस्तुनः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यभक्त्यै नमो नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना। गुरुदेव मैं शरण Srika Page 64, Jai Jai Nityananda Prabhu Kumar. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Godadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Para शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल। Page 216.
कृष्णदेव भगवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भगवन्तं वन्दे हो कृष्णदेव भगवन्तं वन्दे कृष्णदेव भगवन्तं
जय राधे जय जय माधव दयिते राधे जय जय राधे जय जय माधव Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namo Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Namnayate Yakrapātamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Visnupada, Astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja, and the same unto the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Visnupada, Astottara Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to our Rupanuguri Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present, and future, and also to all of those who are watching on the live stream now on Facebook who are trapped in your homes. My Dandavat Pranam. So today, here in Vrindavan, we're observing Ekadashi. It is technically Mahadvadashi. Mahadvadashi means there's an overlap of time, which made yesterday not a complete Ekadashi. It means from sunrise, it was not Ekadashi. So therefore, according to Hari Bhakti Vilas, when it is not considered a pure Tithi, or the pure time period, in the beginning of the day, then we follow from the next day. This is known as Mahadvadashi. So today we are observing Mochani Ekadashi. Most people observe this day, Mochani Ekadashi, for the purpose of removing sin. Mochan means to give freedom or liberation from pap or sin. And although Ekadashi herself was manifest from the form of Krishna to remove the suffering of the jivas, especially those who were suffering in the hellish planets, and to remove the sins of those persons, still those who are practicing the path of bhakti do not observe any part of the path of bhakti simply for removing sins. Sins are automatically removed by following the path of bhakti. So why do we do anything on the path of bhakti? In order to understand that, our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and our Param Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and really all of our Rupa Nuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, have very strongly established what is the definition of pure bhakti. Can anyone tell me the verse that Srila Gurudev required whenever he would ask, what is pure bhakti? Loudly? Very good. I remember once we were in Fiji, Gurudev asked, what is the definition of bhakti? And this was 1996 or early 97, and we didn't know what he wanted. We were giving all sorts of definitions. And finally, he asked one devotee who knew, and he quoted this verse, Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Jnanamritam Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Uttama. The definition of bhakti is that it is devoid of any reward-seeking activity. This is karma. Jnana means devoid of any desire for liberation. So if you're observing Ekadashi for the purpose of removing your sins and getting liberation, this is not really bhakti. So jnana karma adi anavritam. What is pure bhakti? Anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Anukul means what is favorable for Krishna. Anu also means it must be under guidance, in anugatya. Otherwise it cannot be considered bhakti. And Krishna Anushilana means exclusively for Krishna, for his pleasure, for his happiness, for his benefit. Then it can be called pure bhakti. So all of the activities that we have been given by our Guru Varga in the Rupa Anuga line all have a specific intrinsic purpose. And that is only to please Krishna. So we can check ourselves and our activities and our intentions, because the same activity can be performed by millions of people. One will be doing that activity for, you can read in the book, in the Ekadashi Mahatmya, there's so many things. If you follow this Ekadashi, then you will go to heaven and enjoy for thousands of years. Right? And then after that, you will get liberation. It says it. So many places in Padma Purana, Skanda Purana, you can do all of these activities, the same exact activities that have been prescribed by our Guru Parampara, what have been prescribed in Samskar Dipika and Hari Bhakti Vilas and all of these things, what have been given by our Guru Varga, we can do the same activity externally, but what is the bhav that we are approaching that activity with? In the same way that we can approach Harinam. We can approach Harinam with a heart full of material desires. And what is the result? This is called Nam Aparad. The result is the fulfillment of our material desires and the increase of our Kanaka, Kamani, Pratishtha. The increase of our material wealth, the increase of our material sense gratification, and the increase of our material position, power, name, fame, and all of this. By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if we are not under guidance, and if we're not making progress. That same Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when vibrated by the pure devotee, is so attractive to Krishna that Krishna comes and dances on their tongue. He makes himself completely situated within the core of their heart. And they are tasting nectar at every step. Purna Amrita Ashvadam, right? Mahaprabhu says, Purna Amrita Ashvadanam. Tasting transcendental divine nectar at every step. So it's the same external activity, but what is the bhav or the mood of the person who is approaching? So when we are observing Ekadashi, instead of thinking, oh, if I do this, it will remove my sins and give me liberation, freedom. Instead, we should understand, my Guru Parampara, my Gurudev, my Guru Varga have told me that I should follow Ekadashi. But it must be that they are telling me this because it is only for bhakti, to please Krishna. So how is this pleasing to Krishna? And to search and find that out, that is sadhana. To seek out what is the purpose of this and how will it be pleasing to Krishna. Because bhakti is devoid of any kind of material reward-seeking activity. Ahaitaki apratihata. It has no material motivation. It has motivation because the root qualification for Krishna bhakti is the intense greedy desire to have it. That sounds like it's mundane, but actually to have bhakti means to have the intense greedy desire to serve and please Krishna, right? That's the root qualification for it. So any activity that we are given, we should search in it. How is this for Krishna's happiness and Krishna's pleasure? then that activity can be considered to be bhakti. Otherwise, Srila Gurudev said, if you're not doing it for that purpose, it will only be reward-seeking activity. That means karma. The result of following this Ekadashi without the endeavor to please Krishna will be that we get some material result. So any activity that we're doing, we should only do exclusively for pleasing Krishna. Therefore, Bhaktivedanta Thakur said in this bhajan, Shuddha Bhakata Charanare Bhajana Anukul Madhavatini Bhakti Janani Jatane Palana Kori Krishna Vasati Boli Parama Adare Hori. Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. If we observe this day and the days of Madhava, like Janmashtami, Ram Navami, Gaur Purnima, and other days like this, very, very carefully, Jatane Palana Kori means holding it with great honor, with great respect, understanding that Krishna is residing in this time period, in this day, and respecting this day as the time form of Krishna. Krishna has manifested to us in the form of a day. Why not? He's everything. He can do whatever he wants. He can make the impossible possible. How can he not also be time? He says, time I am. In Bhagavad Gita, directly. He is time, and he has come specifically in the form of this time period to give us the opportunity to awaken our bhakti. Means our love and devotion, our seva vritti, our serving tendency to Krishna. Therefore it is said Bhakti Janani. Janani means mother. The mother gives birth. In the same way, Ekadashi or Madhavatiti gives birth to Bhakti, awakens Bhakti, if we observe, respect, and follow properly. That means under the guidance of Sri Guru, under the guidance of Vaishnavas, not concocting, not creating. What my Gurudev told me, I will follow. What he did, as he does, I will follow. He is connected to Krishna. He sees the truth. He is a Tattvadarshi. What he is doing is perfect because he is beyond the capacity to make mistakes. So as my Gurudev is doing, I follow my Gurudev. Otherwise, if I can accept and reject whimsically, this means, Gurudev said, what is the meaning of anugatya? What is the meaning of following your Gurudev? What my Gurudev gave me, I will follow. He's telling me that I should follow Ekadashi at a particular time. He's following at that time. I follow at that time. And I see how he follows, and I try to emulate him. When he sees that I'm making that endeavor, because bhakti also means to be under guidance. So even Ekadashi, which is a anga of bhakti, must always be in anugatya, under guidance. Under guidance means what my Gurudev did, what my Gurudev gave, I will do. Srila Gurudev said, you cannot please everyone. If you try, you will fail, guaranteed. He said, should you try to please Gurudev or try to please all the Vaishnavas? What's more important? He said, if you try to please everyone, you will fail. Guaranteed. Because as I'm trying to please him, she will feel, hey, how come you're not paying any attention to me? You're giving more time there and less time here. We've experienced it too many times. As you travel around the world, and then the festival days come and everyone comes to the same place at the same time, and they're like, but you're my friend. And I'm like, yes, they're all my friends. I cannot divide myself so easily. So then we find when someone is disappointed, they're sitting at a distance looking at us like this. You cannot divide yourself. And then you try to give 2 minutes to each person. Krishna doesn't have this problem. Krishna is situated in the hearts of all. If Sri Guru pleases him and we're all trying to please Guru, then he's transmitting our love. Krishna is satisfied, everyone is satisfied. Gurudev just sits here, and as everyone walks in just with a glance, everyone, he looked at me, and you feel completely saturated. Oh, my Gurudev loves me so much. But for conditioned souls like myself, we cannot stretch ourselves so thin. So it's not possible to please everyone equally. So, yatataror mula nishechanena. Focus that. Krishna says, you put the water on the root of the tree and automatically all the branches and leaves are nourished. The entire tree is nourished. Or, if you put the food into your mouth, prasadam, and it goes into your stomach, then automatically your entire body is nourished. In the same way, if you give your love, your affection, your one-pointed mood to the lotus feet of Krishna, automatically everything is taken care of. But I don't yet know Krishna. So Gurudev said this verse, Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Dhyanavritam. He said, first and foremost, you offer that in the lotus feet of Gurudev, who is the first form of Krishna to manifest in our lives. Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. The Supreme Lord's compassion condenses and takes a form in front of us. Krishna steps outside of our heart in the form of Diksha and Shiksha Gurus to awaken and to confirm the awakening of our tendency to serve Krishna. By their association, Krishna Seva Vasanam, the desire to serve Krishna is kindled and awakened. And in that association, that begins to grow more and more and more. So Ekadashi must be also followed in Anugatya, under guidance, very carefully, and really it should be exclusively for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. Why do we follow Ekadashi? Not for any material reason, but because it is pleasing to Krishna for us to follow it. And what does he give as a result? If you do anything favorable for serving Krishna, on this day, Ekadashi, he multiplies that thousands of times. So it is very favorable for bhakti. Because if the root qualification for bhakti is the intense, greedy desire to have it, then if we really have that greed, if we see that something will multiply that thousands of times, we will take advantage of that. Does that make sense? I can give you $1, or I can give you $1,000. Which one do you want? Take the 1,000. Ekadashi will give you the opportunity to multiply or increase by thousands of times your tendency to serve Krishna. Therefore, it is very pleasing to Krishna. Why? He has been waiting for us since time immemorial. Do you know how long that is? Anadi karma pale tori bhavar navajale tori bare na dekhi upai. Since time without beginning, we have been bound in this samsara, experiencing the results of our karma, drowning in the ocean of material existence, which is burning us like fire. So it's not a normal ocean, it's like an ocean of acid. Since time without beginning. And because Krishna has given us the minute little thing called independence, where we choose to place our love and affection, he will not force us to love him, although it is still intrinsically our inherent nature. So Bhagavad Gita there, it is saying that Krishna is waiting and has been waiting since forever, simply for us to turn and look toward him. So if we turn and look toward him, this is a cause of pleasure and happiness for him. Right? He's waiting for us, patiently. And we're just busy enjoying the fruits of this material world. Tasting this, tasting that. Oh, so nice, so nice. This flavor of stool, that flavor of stool, pig stool, dog stool, cockroach stool, any stool. Oh, this one tastes better. Oh, this is good. Gurudev said you're all like pigs wallowing in the sewage of this material world. Come with me and I will bathe you in a pool of nectar. I will bathe you in a pond of nectar. He said that you don't want to come. You're happy enjoying the sewage of this material world. So it is pleasing to Krishna if we turn toward him and endeavor to serve him. And because it is pleasing to Krishna, automatically it will be pleasing to us. Savai sam paro dharmo yato bhaktir lokshaje ahoitaki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Generally it's understood that this last line, yayatma suprasidati, means if we just give our hearts in love and devotion to Krishna, that we will become fully satisfied. Gurudev said, yayatma means Paramatma, the supreme soul of all souls, Krishna. If you serve him with love and affection, he will be satisfied. And as an automatic side effect, we will also experience suprasiddhati, complete perfection. That means transcendental bliss in loving service of Krishna. But the devotee does not want anything. He does not want anything for himself other than to serve and please Krishna. And this is why Krishna becomes controlled by bhakti. How can you repay someone who doesn't need anything except to serve and love him? Vaishnavas are akinchan, niskinchan, they don't want anything. That's why Krishna resides in the hearts of the Vaishnavas. Sadhava hridayam mahyam, sadhava hridayam tvaham. I don't know anyone but my devotees. They don't know anyone but me. In that place he can rest, he can reside there. Therefore, it is said that Krishna is the heart of the Vaishnava. Tomar hridaya sada govinda vishnav, govinda kahina mama Vaishnava param. Sri Narottam Das Thakur is saying in the bhajan, Ebaro Purana Karo Vaishnava Thakur, that within the heart of the pure devotee of the Lord, Krishna is always resting there, Vishnu. And Krishna himself says, Govinda Kohina. Govinda himself is saying, Mama Vaishnava Para, my devotees are my life and soul. So he becomes completely indebted to them by their love and affection. To follow them, to serve them, and to observe all of the activities of bhakti under their guidance, then very easily and very quickly perfection can be attained. Srila Gurudev said, of the 5 limbs of bhakti which Mahaprabhu has given, he narrowed it down to 5. Does anyone know those 5? Starting with sadhu sangha. No, that's 9 from Bhagavatam. And then there's a 64 from Bhaktivedanta Sindhu, but Mahaprabhu condensed it down to 5 essential things for us. Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathuravas, Shri Murtir Shraddhaya Seva. The first one is Sadhu Sangha. Srila Gurudev said, if you take shelter of sadhu properly, then automatically you will be hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. You will be doing Nam Kirtan. So if you just follow the first step properly, Ado Guru Parashray, Sadhu Sangha, to take shelter of, associate with, and follow the instructions of the sadhu, then automatically Nam Kirtan will be there, chanting the holy names of the Lord, hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam and the glories of the Lord and his devotees. Residing in Mathura means in Mathura Mandal or Vrindavan. That one's a little catchy. Because what if you're not physically here, but you're still under the guidance of sadhu? Wherever that pure devotee is, because he has fully captured Krishna within his heart, that place is not different from Vrindavan. Those rivers and lakes are not different from Jamuna, Radhakund, and Shamakund, and those mountains in that area are not different from Giriraj, Govardhan. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes this in his bhajans. And we personally experienced it when Srila Gurudev came to Nubraj. Gurudev would say, now leave all of this material world behind and come with me. Come with me to Vrindavan. Of course, it was already Vrindavan. The devotees there said that before he would arrive, generally the jasmines would start to bloom in the beginning of June. But if Gurudev was coming in the middle of June, they would wait and only bloom 2 days before he arrived.
Or in May.
Or it doesn't matter. anytime. They would just bloom right before he arrived. But he would say, come with me. And he'd say, now come with me to Jamuna. And there we will bathe 3 times. And then he would say, 1, 2, 3. And we would all mentally bathe in Jamuna with him, guiding all of us. Shri Guru Khandari, he's the captain. So he would guide us all what to do. And then he would say, Jamuna is here. Radha Kund and Shyama Kund are there. Giriraj Maharaj is there. And he even had us do Anukut Mahamahotsav. He installed Giriraj, Radha Kund and Shyama Kund. And then he would start speaking Braj Katha. And a most amazing, miraculous thing would happen. I witnessed it on more than one occasion. Suddenly the sky would be covered with clouds, and slight sprinkles would fall, and the sky would turn a beautiful purplish color. And then the peacocks would start making, looking around like, what happened? He just transformed everything. Where the pure devotee is, who is holding Krishna, Srimati Radhika in his heart, that place is Vrindavan. You can be physically in Vrindavan, but millions of miles away from Vrindavan. Or you can be at the feet of a pure Vaisnava, 1,000 miles away from physical Vrindavan, and actually be in Vrindavan. Srila Gurudev explained that it is truly a state of consciousness, that he is never not in Vrindavan. And we know this is true by the words of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Nikunjayuno Ratikeli Siddhyai Ayalibhir Yuktirapekshaniya Tatrati Daksha Atiballabasya Bande Guru Shri Charnarvindam. Shri Gurudev is always serving Radha and Krishna, assisting the gopis in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. Expert in assisting the gopis. So always in Vrindavan. And he carries Vrindavan where he goes. Therefore it is a Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. Where the pure devotee goes, that place is a tirtha. And that was Gurudev's own expressed reason why he was traveling around the world. One, on the order of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to help his disciples. And the other one was, wherever he placed his feet, I want to go and put my head in the dust of that place. These were his 2 main reasons for traveling around the world. Because it is a tirtha. He went to Venice Beach in Los Angeles. Venice Beach, it's a place where thousands and millions of people go, one of the greatest tourist destinations of the world. Millions of people go there to enjoy and do all kinds of sinful activities. And then they leave their cigarette butts and bottles and cans and things everywhere on the beach. It's quite a filthy place. Not only filthy physically, but filthy materially and mentally. The consciousness is very dark. It's only about enjoying. It has nothing to do with serving the Lord. Gurudev went on a morning walk in that place. And then he asked the devotees in 1996, did Swamiji walk here? They said, yes. And he said, right here? They said, yes. He said, all of you immediately should offer pranam in this place. And they were like, normally they would consider it dirty, but he said, this is a tirtha. Offer your pranam. All the devotees offered pranam in that very place. And then he started kirtan. Nitai Gauranga Jai, Nitai Gauranga. And all the devotees were dancing and singing, doing parikrama around Gurudev, doing kirtan in that place. He said, this is tirtha. Because Prabhupada was carrying Krishna in his heart. And wherever he placed his feet, that place became purified and transcendental. This is proof of Mathuravas being at the feet of the pure devotee wherever they are. And the last one, Mahaprabhu mentions, Sri Murtir Shraddhaya Sevan, to worship the Archa Vigraha form of the Lord, Sri Murtir Shraddhaya Sevan, with love, with affection, and with faith and regard. These 5 things, Sadhu Sangranam, Kirtan, Bhagavat, Shravan, Mathuravas, Sri Murtir Shraddhaya Sevan, Mahaprabhu gave that process. And everything will instantly and easily be accomplished if we just take the correct step, sadhu sangha. If we miss the essential step, we can become in a very dangerous situation. The other day I was helping one devotee to fill out their visa extension form. And on the first page, so many little boxes were there, and I accidentally clicked yes instead of no on one of them. And instead of being a visa extension application, on the next page, everything was, it said you require this document, that one, this one, that one. And I was like, oh my God, what about all these documents? It said refugee application. And we were like, oh my God. We spent an hour filling it out, and then the internet cut off, and we lost everything. And then we went back again to the first page and realized, oh my God, we clicked the wrong box. That's why it is so important to follow very carefully the words, the teachings, the instructions, the moods, the conceptions of our Gurudev as it is without unnecessary opposition. If we want at all to be able to move swiftly on the path of bhakti, on the path of devotion, then this anugatya, is the most essential ingredient. Therefore, Rupa Goswami has asserted in the verse which states, this is the essence of all advice. Tishtan braje tat anuragi jananugami. Always remain in Vrindavan. Tat anuragi jan anugami. Under the guidance of that person whose heart is overflowing with anurag, means transcendental love for Radha and Krishna. 24 hours a day remembering the names, forms, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna, and doing Sukirtan. Sukirtan means with your whole heart, with your whole mind, with your body, with everything, your soul and everything completely dedicated. Remembering Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, following the instructions given by Gurudev without cessation. This is the essence of all advice. And that means every article, every aspect of bhakti that we perform, if it is under this guidance of the Anuragi Jan, in our case specifically, Rupanuga Jan. What is Rupanuga? Srila Gurudev explained emphatically, without ever compromising, that really Rupanuga means who is following the moods, the bhavs of Rupa Goswami in sadhak form, and as Rupa Manjari in Siddha form. This is really Rupanuga. So this kind of Tishtan Prajeta Anuragi Jananugami, following that kind of personality. This is the essence of all advice. Then our Ekadashi and all of our endeavors on the path of bhakti will be fruitful, will be successful. If we don't follow Gurudev, what is it, the third offense or fourth offense to the holy name? To disobey the orders of the spiritual master? Right? Guru Avagya. What is the result of that? See, Krishna's names, forms, qualities, pastimes, his dham, ekadashi, all of the activities of bhakti are not different from Krishna. So if we're disobeying the order or not following Gurudev, then what is the result of doing any of these activities on the path of bhakti? Even taking prasad. Karaka Kamani Pratishta, because it's all aparad. Does that make sense? If you're approaching Krishna's name with a heart full of material desires and disobeying Guru, then the result will be non-aparad. If you're disobeying Guru and you're approaching anything on the path of bhakti, the result will not be pure bhakti. How does bhakti manifest in the heart? Bhakta sanjataya bhakta. By taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev, or a real Bhakta. Therefore, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, in the first verse of the Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu, he's saying, Shuddha Bhakata, the pure devotee, Charana Renu, the dust of his lotus feet. That means not only the physical dust, but following his instructions, following his moods, what he has given us, endeavoring to serve and please him by following what he's giving, not wasting his time. This Charana Renu is very favorable for bhajana anukul, and serving the Vaishnavas. Bhakata Seva, Parama Siddhi, will grant the highest perfection. Prema Lati Karamu, it is the root of praise manifestation. This Latikara means the creeper of praise, starting with Bhakti, Shraddha. So Mahaprabhu has given this to Rupa Goswami. Erupe, Brahman, Brahmite, Gona, Bhagavanaji, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai, Bhakti Lata Beach. O Rupa Goswami, the jiva who is bound in this world, moving from one place to the next, bound in samsara forever, due to great fortune. It's almost like being selected. It's your turn now for service. Guru Krishna, by the mercy of Krishna, Krishna's mercy manifests in front of them in the form of Sri Guru. By that mercy, by Bhakti Lata Beach, the tendency or the nature to serve Krishna is awakened. And by this greatest fortune manifests. And especially now, Dhanya Kali Yuga, this very, very auspicious time. This particular Kali Yuga, not the same as all other Kali Yugas. Dhanya Kali Yugera Chaitanya Avatar. Mahaprabhu came to awaken Rag Marga Bhakti in all of the entire universe. Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Gorite Prachara. Nityananda Prabhu manifested. He broke that dam which was holding back Mahaprabhu's mercy and allowed it to flood everywhere, running door to door with the straw in his teeth, falling at the feet of everyone, begging, "Please be merciful to me. If you just chant the name of my Gauranga once, I am yours, I am yours." And such great personalities as Narottam Das Thakur, he's saying, "Grihe va vadete take, ha Gauranga bolidake, Narottam mage tara sangha." Grihe va vadete take. No matter what situation you're in, whether you're living at home or in the forest or whatever you are, if you just loudly call out Gauranga, that name, Narottama, always desires their association. So we have such a great opportunity now, at this time, especially right now, when the whole world is consumed with everything other than Krishna. They're consumed with fear of death. Yet Kunti Devi, what is she praying? "Oh my Lord, send these calamities again and again and again so that I may remember you. Otherwise, what happens? We forget. That's the greatest mystery, isn't it? Yaksha asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, what is the greatest mystery? He said that everyone around us is constantly dying and yet we think it's not going to happen to me. It's the greatest mystery. Why? Because we're so absorbed in enjoying. We're so absorbed in thinking, I am this body. Oh, look how good I look in the mirror. Oh, look at how much money I have. How smart am I? How can I talk? How many shlokas can I rattle off in a row? We have all sorts of things that make us egotistical and proud, and this bars us from the humility which is necessary to take shelter of Harinam. Trinarapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sadishnuna, Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Humility is required, but our high birth, our wealth, our bodily beauty, our education, high education, this makes us very proud, egotistical, and that blocks us from moving forward. So Kunti Devi is saying that these things, I am plagued by these 4 things. Janma, Aishwarya, Shrita, Shri. So she's praying to Krishna, because of this, my nature is that I tend to forget you. But when so many problems come, again and again, one after another, at that time, I'm able to remember you because I forget about my position. I'm able to remember you in these situations. So please, my Lord, be merciful to me and send these calamities again and again so that I may remember you. When the Pandavas would remember Krishna, when they would cry out to Krishna, when so many difficult situations were arising, like Draupadi. Durvasa came to their little cottage with 60,000 disciples right after they finished taking Prasad, just after all the pots were cleaned and everything. He was sent there to test them. Their nature was, we must always serve anyone who comes. So they told Durvasa, yes, take your bath, we will take care of you and all of your disciples. And they're going, oh my God, how are we going to take care of this? From a very far distance, Draupadi, who has so much love and affection for Krishna, that he became her own sari and completely embraced her and protected her. Sari Avatar. We heard that? He protected her. And he even called her Saki. Who else does he call Saki outside of Vrindavan but Draupadi? So he heard her call. He heard her praying, her crying out from a far distance, by heart. And immediately he manifested in front of her. He understood her situation. He said, do you have anything left over? She said, no, we finished everything. Everything has been washed. There's nothing left over. Krishna said, let me see, let me see. No, we cleaned everything very well. Krishna began searching the pot. And then he found just under the lid of the pot, one small flake of shock of spinach. And with the end of his nail, he scraped it like this, and he popped it in his mouth. Boom. That very moment, he said, I am satisfied. Triptosmi, right? Triptosmi. That moment he was satisfied, Durvasa and his 60,000 disciples who were taking bath, their bellies went, and they were, oh my God, we're so full. And if we go there, they're going to feed us more. We can't eat one drop more. So they ran away from that place. Krishna was satisfied immediately. Everyone was satisfied. So Kunti is saying, please send these calamities again and again, because then we will remember you. Then we will have your darshan. Then we will be able to serve you and please you. And we will forget all about our own mundane everything. So this world situation which is happening now should encourage all of those who are eager to move forward on the path of bhakti, to remember Krishna more, to engage in remembering his names, his forms, his qualities, his pastimes, his devotees. It should increase our enthusiasm and inspiration to move forward on the path of bhakti. And not only for ourselves, but also we should try to share that thing. The world right now is being afflicted by a very quick form of cancer, if you want to call it that. People are sitting in their houses like this, with masks on their faces. Even the shop wallahs in Vrindavan, they have masks on their faces and no one's nearby. It's like everyone's sitting there, what's going to happen next?
There's nobody on the peripheral.
And no one's on the peripheral path. Jamuna is massive. It's so peaceful compared to usual. People are afraid. Death. Somebody approached Prabhupada and said, they were talking about India. Well, doesn't India have a high mortality rate? And Prabhupada responded, okay, the mortality rate is 100% everywhere. Right? Everyone is going to die, and you don't know when or how. It's funny because today I was walking down the street, and then I walked across the street thinking there was no cars there, but at that moment I thought, imagine this, a rickshaw could just finish me like that. And everyone else can be worried, oh, be careful, the rickshaw can get you. Anything can get you anytime. So for us, for any devotee, for anyone who's aspiring to be devotee, if we can remember that actually it is not about this situation, but the fact that we are in the material body now, and whatever we are thinking, we will go to that place. And death can come at any moment. There's no guarantee if we have 7 days, 7 minutes, or 7 seconds, Prabhupada said. Maharaj Parikshit was guaranteed 7 days. We are not guaranteed 7 seconds. Not 7 seconds. We're not guaranteed anything. So, for the duration of our life, until that time comes, when our body and soul must separate, Labva surulababidam sambhavante manushyamatanam nityapapi hadira turnavyate tanapatet anumrityu yavan nishayashaya vishaya khalu sarvatasya. We should endeavor with every part of our being to develop bhakti. That is the only thing that will be beneficial for us, and we should try to also share that and encourage others to do the same. Until that time, because only from the human form can one actually endeavor for perfection. So this is our opportunity now to practice when it is knocking on our door. We don't know what's going to happen, but it's always knocking on our door. We never know when it's going to happen. So always, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Serve the Vaishnavas, serve Shri Guru, and Nir Aparad Naam Loyal Bhai Premadan. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Guru Varga ki jai, Madhav Tithi Ekadashi ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Shri Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari.
निकटे अद्वैत श्री वास चक्रधारो বসিয়াছে গোরক্ষা রত্ন সিংহাসনে আরতি করে আদি দেবতা संजय मुकुंद वासु जोषयधिकाय संजय मुकुंद शंख बाजे घंट बाजे बाजे Ananda Vidhaya अवतार टूरे झलमा हरि मनो विमोहन वदन बुध विश्वकादि शक्ति गंगा नारे जाय अप्रिय नम चक्की जत चामर दुलाय चामर दुलाय अप्रिय नम चक्की जत चामर दुलाय जय राधे राधे बोले चामर दुलाय चामर दुलाय चामर दुलाय जय राधे जय राधे जय कृष्ण प्रिय नर्म शक्ति चक्र चामर दुलाय श्री राधा माधव पद सरसी जयाशे भक्त विनोद सखी पति सुख भाषे राधे राधे राधा गोविंद जय जय राधे राधे राधा गोविंद जय जय राधा गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपीनाथ जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपीनाथ जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि जय श्री गुरु गौरांग मंडलिका गिरिधारी राधा बिहारी राधा गोपीनाथ की जय। नित्य लीला कृष्ण विष्णु पारश्रोतर सदशेष हिमाचल भक्तिवेदांत नारायण स्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्य लीला कृष्ण विष्णु पारश्रोतर सदशेष हिमाचल भक्तिवेदांत वामन स्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला कृष्ण विष्णु पारश्रोतर सदशेष हिमाचल भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य लीला कृष्ण विष्णु पारश्रोतर सदशेष हिमाचल भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट विष्णु पारश्रोतर सदशेष श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय। सब परिकर श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। महाभागवत श्री गौर बाबू जी महाराज की जय। सप्तम गोस्वामी सच्चिदानंद श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ बाबू जी महाराज की जय। गौरी वेदांताचार्य बलर विद्याभूषण प्रभु की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री नरोत्तम श्रीनिवास श्यामानंद प्रभु त्रय की जय। श्री कृष्णराज विराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्री गौरी रूपान गुरुवर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जी गोपाल भट्टरास रघुनाथ चर गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय। श्री श्री कामराय रमनंदारी श्री गुरु पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपी गोवर्धन वर्षवनात्मक श्री ब्रज मंडल की जय। श्री श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गंगा जमुना भक्ति तुलसी देवी की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री माधवती एकादशी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Okay, you can leave it. Namo Namo. जय, प्रतिपाल श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, माधव एकादशी की जय, वृंदावन तुलसी महारानी की जय, श्री जमुना महारानी की जय, श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि।